Hey yo, what's up? We're gonna be doing Chinese dumpling meal prep today. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna walk you guys through it. We just got a couple ingredients here. We're gonna be using sushi rice, short grain, white pepper, black pepper, oyster sauce, sesame seed oil, rice wine vinegar, soy sauce, minced garlic, green onion, cabbage, and 2 pounds of a lean ground chicken. But first, before we get started, we need to get our rice on in our rice cooker because that's going to take the longest. All right, guys. So first, before we get our rice in our pot, we're going to get a little water in here. I'm going to add a cup and a half of our short grain sushi rice to this. I'm just going to give it a good wash. Probably one more time. It will be good. We're gonna call that good. Okay, so with this rice cooker, it's pretty simple. Just dump your rice in there, which, since we're doing a low calorie here, we're going to try and kind of get all the rice we can here. So we need all those calories. All right. You get your rice in a bowl. Kind of flatten it out a bit. You can see there's marks here on the bowl. Since that's a cup and a half of rice, I'm going to fill it up to right between the 1 and the 2, and we should be good. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and chop up our vegetables. First being the cabbage. I'm just going to cut the bottom of it off so it's flat. Turn that aside, and I'm going to split it almost in half. And I'm just gonna we got little long strips there. If I don't cut off my finger, I'm gonna come back and dice it up. Super simple. That looks like a kind of dirty piece. Throw that off. But just cabbage. And then we're going to work on our green onions here. There's only 2 vegetables in this dish, so super easy. Just take your green onions, give them a nice small, but not too small, because you want to taste it whenever you're biting it. And I'm not measuring nothing. That looks good enough to me. If you like more onions, put more onions. Alrighty, so first we're going to get you a pan on the stove and turn it on medium-high heat. And then add like a tablespoon of some vegetable cooking oil or whatever high temp oil you use. Alright, once your pan's ripping hot, you want to add your vegetables into the pan. Add everything in there. And at this point, you can add a little bit of salt to this. It'll help bring those waters out of this pan, or out of the vegetables in this pan. Okay, now once your vegetables start to get some color on them and they look kind of like this, you can go ahead and make a well in the middle of your pan so that the garlic can contact the pan nicely. I'm going to start by adding 1 tablespoon of some minced garlic. I bought it already minced because it's easier that way. Now you want to have that garlic touch the pan so it can get a little bit of heat to it, but be careful because you don't want your garlic to burn. So I went ahead and mixed mine up just because my pan was so hot. I didn't really account for that, but if you can, turn your heat down before you add the garlic. That way you don't have any burnt garlic in this. Next thing we're going to do is add our 2 pounds of lean ground chicken. We're going to start by just throwing one in there and then throw the other right on top of that. Next, I'm just going to chop up the meat as best I can and get it all mixed up with the vegetables. That way, it can cook evenly. Now to start, I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of some sesame seed oil here. Next, I'm going to be adding 3 tablespoons of some rice vinegar. That's right, 3. And then goes in 1 tablespoon of some oyster sauce. This was a little bit thick, so I was having some trouble, but finally got it out. A little bit in the pan, that's okay. And finally, for our sauces, it's going to go 2 tablespoons of some traditionally brewed soy sauce. And this isn't low sodium because I'm kind of fat and I like the salt. Next, you're going to want to crack in some black pepper. If you don't have a cracked black pepper, just use the normal stuff out of the shaker. It's fine. Next, you're going to want to add your white pepper to this. Now, this is my favorite spice in this whole meal, so I went a little heavy. If you don't like it that much, you don't have to put as much. Once you've got everything in the pan, you're going to want to mix everything around. That way it's all evenly distributed. Once you've got it all mixed up, it should look a little bit better than this. It'll look like this, actually. When you've got it to this stage, just keep stirring it and cooking it down because you're going to want to get a lot of that liquid out of there. You're going to still be bringing liquids out of your vegetables. And then you can see I switched to a new spoon here because my meat was basically cooked through and the old spoon had raw meat on it. So whenever you're cooking meat, just keep that in mind that once your meat's cooked, you don't want to keep putting the spoon that had the raw meat back into your dish. Now at this point, I had already tasted it since my meat was cooked through and I thought it needed a little bit of spice to it, so I added some red pepper flakes. You don't have to if you don't like it that spicy. Now, when most of your water has come out of the vegetables and there's not a lot left in the pan, you can take it off because it's done. About the time that your meat gets off, your rice should be done cooking. So let's see. I'm gonna spoon it around a bit. Oh yeah, looks awesome. But one thing before we actually get ready to eat this rice, I'm gonna add just a touch of salt, just for flavor. You don't have to if you don't want to do that. Keep your salt low. I'm gonna add a splash of rice vinegar. Work this around, and then you're ready to plate up your meal prep. Do it on, get up close on it. Alright, so now you should be ready to plate up your meals. We're just going to start with our rice. Now, I started by scooping out half a cup of rice into each container just so I could see how much I had left for each meal. After that, I went ahead and just evened them out till they all had about the same amount of rice. I then did the same thing with the meat and vegetables until all the meals were full with about the same amount. Now, unfortunately, my camera cut off at the end of this, so I don't get to show you the finished product, but this is what it looks like. This meal is awesome, guys. You should definitely make it. I'll leave the nutritional facts at the end of the video. Thanks for watching.